Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football Thursday afternoon. In the USC commitment sweatshirt, coming back on three-star cornerback Jaden Crowder, committing to USC in 2026. Now, where do I want to start with this commitment? I'll tell you where I want to start. Don't give a damn about the three-star ranking next to his name because I know damn well that USC really likes this kid. Now, how do I know that? Number one, he's right in their backyard. So they've evaluated this kid. They've gotten him on the campus. They know this kid pretty dang well as a person and as a football player. But number two, this is their fifth cornerback commitment in 2026. They did not need a fifth cornerback commitment. What this commitment is telling me, we got a kid in our backyard who's just too damn good to pass up. And so we're going to go bring him in. Really impressive senior year film. Got to watch a couple of the games early on in his senior year. It's hard not to like him and gives you a little bit of versatility, right? Can play nickel, can play out there on the boundary as well. And we all know, this USC cornerback room is pretty thin. I don't think there's a ton of talent in this room right now. And I think Chad Bowden probably knows that too. So say, hey, we going to go address it. And we come bring in guys to add some depth and add some talent to that room. And I think it's really important to do so because you look at, where does USC want to go over the next 5 years? They want to be consistently winning Big Ten championships. Well, what teams do you have to go through pretty damn consistently to win Big Ten championships? It's teams like Oregon. It's teams like Ohio State. What do both of those football teams have? They got dudes at wide receiver. You want to deal with those dudes, you got to get some dudes at cornerback. USC's doing that, man, in the 2026 cycle. Generally, y'all know how I feel about Chad Bowden. I think he's the best in the business, and you are seeing that right here where he's identified a room that we got to get better in. We're just not where we need to be at the boundary cornerback position. Well, guess what? We're going to fix it, and we're going to get really proactive fixing it because 48 hours ago, they just brought in the number one cornerback from the JUCO ranks. Now they're bringing in another cornerback. They are trying to fix that problem. I'm a fan of Jaden Crowder, and we'll talk about why before we do. And as always, to the USC fans, appreciate you guys, man. Whether we're breaking down wins over Michigan, whether we're breaking down commitments, the amount of support that this fan base continues to show to the boys has been amazing. And I'm not trying to say that it's only Chad Bowden, but I feel like Chad Bowden's arrival at this program has just breathed. I think that's the right way to say it. Just some new life and some new energy into this program. I've had a blast covering how USC is building their roster. The amount of support this fan base is showing the boys, whether it's in the fall, whether it's in the offseason, been amazing. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into Jaden Crowder. What do you love first? Battle tested, man. Like Trinity League. You see a lot of really good wide receivers, and when you take a look at the film, you like what you see. Number two, versatility, I think gives you a lot of value at the boundary cornerback spot, but I also think can play that nickel. I think he'll end up playing nickel for USC because of two different things. One, really good instincts, really good short area quicks. He's not necessarily the biggest cat right now, but doesn't really lack a lot of physicality. And so you get him and you can kind of see where he best fits in this USC secondary. The composure, technician, those are probably the two words I would use to describe his game. Where, look, where's the knock? Where's the con on this kid? He's not the biggest and he's not the fastest, right? There's no verified track times with him. He's 5'11", and that might be a little bit generous. But I will say this, a really smooth mover, keeps his composure when that football's in the air. He's a technician. You can tell he cares about his craft a lot. Whenever we're talking about kids like this, I go back to the conversation we had with Mekhi Lemon coming out of high school. And look, Mekhi Lemon was a higher ranked prospect and for good reason. And I'm not saying Jaden Crowder is all of a sudden going to become the Mekhi Lemon at cornerbacks here. How we described Mekhi Lemon was really good football player that lacked some size, that lacked the verified track and field times, but you knew when you watched him, you had a good football player on your hands. Jaden Crowder, similar conversation. I don't think he was ever going to be a 5-star prospect because he's a little bit shorter, doesn't have crazy track and field times. But when you go watch him And mind you, you're watching him play some of the best players across the country. It's like, this guy's one of the better players on the field, and that matters. Like what the football player is. We talked a lot about Brandon Arrington, right? Cali kid ended up committing to Texas A&M, and he was a very fun prospect to talk about because he was really big, he's really long, he's really, really fast. When you turned on the tape for him, it was, all right, you can see the athleticism, you see the size and speed, but you didn't necessarily see the great football player. Like Jaden Crowder is not as gifted as a guy like Brandon Arrington. I feel like he's a better football player at this stage. And hey, there's a nice blend that's going on. Like you're seeing USC bet on some traits, but at the same time, we're betting on good football players, and that's what Jaden Crowder is. Now, look at USC's class in 2026. The number one thing that excites me is what they've done in 2026. They're going to sign the best class in the country, right? And we're going to talk about a name that's still on the board that we got to talk about. The number two thing is, and I've been pretty vocal about it, is I think a lot of USC fans would agree with this. I don't think this roster is quite national championship caliber. I think they just showed you against Michigan that, hey, it might be college football playoff caliber. We're probably not there in terms of competing for a national championship. But what they're showing is we're going in the right direction. And that was the biggest thing in 2025 is that you want to hold on to this 2026 class and you want to show the 2027ers that, hey, we're building to something special. And I think that's what USC has shown so far in 2025. Is it a perfect football team? No, absolutely not. But they're showing you they're going in the right direction. I think that helps them keep this 2026 cycle together. And I think it damn well helps them build that 2027 class. And if you stack another class like this in 2027, we're off to the races. You know, we said this from day one. Chad Bowden's going to build this the right way. He's going to build this thing to last. We're not trying to win immediately. We're trying to win for the next decade. This is what your classes need to look like if you want to do that. And gosh darn it, USC's doing it. I got to give a massive shout out to On3 Scott Schrader. On3, if you are into recruiting and kind of the new cycle of recruiting, they do an awesome job. There's a little buzz around KJ Ford. And to the USC fans who followed this stuff closely, you remember we talked about this kid back in the summer, right? It was kind of KJ Ford, Luke Waffle, who was going to commit. Luke Waffle ended up committing. And we kind of thought that was the end of the KJ Ford pursuit. I'm not so sure. And like Chad Bowden, we know one thing about Chad Bowden: enough is never enough, especially when it comes to line of scrimmage players, especially when it comes to guys who can impact the quarterback. And y'all know I love KJ Ford. Well, he committed to Florida in the summer. You're still going to have to battle Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M is going to go anywhere in this recruitment. Well, shoot, all of a sudden, USC, KJ Ford, that conversation's happening again. And it's probably going to happen even more when Billy Napier gets fired. Does USC make a move on KJ Ford? Yeah, look, if they do, that would, if I'm a USC fan, fire me up, right? You can never have enough of edge rushers that are the caliber of KJ Ford. If you can impact the quarterback, you can be really good on defense. There's a clear blueprint in this sport. Go look at the teams that have the best defenses in the country. Go look at the teams that win national championships. Every single one of them could affect the quarterback. Man, if you bring in KJ Ford, and what I love about KJ Ford is he's like that perfect blend, man, right? Luke Waffle is a Mack truck, right? He is one of the more powerful edge rushers that we see in 2026, if not the most powerful. KJ Ford's got some power, but he also has some burst, man. He blends that. He's a multidimensional pass rusher. That's probably the best way to put it. Hey, I can go and win with some leverage and win with some power and put that quarterback or put that tackle right into the lap of the quarterback. Hey, I can also win with my first step. I can also win on that outside shoulder. When you have the ability to affect the quarterback both of those ways, you're really dangerous. And that's what I think KJ Ford is. We'll see where this one goes. And look, USC is already building some real momentum in 2027 as well. Continue to win games in 2026. Massive game Saturday night against Notre Dame. Keep this 2026 class together. Do the work that you need to do in the portal in the offseason. Build the 2027 class out, which it looks like USC is going to be doing. We're doing everything right off the field, and that's what matters most. Like, why do we break down these commitments? Because they matter. Because they matter on the football field, right? We got another one in Jaden Crowder. Exciting cat. I don't know if he'd be a guy that sees the field immediately, but I do think not necessarily physically, right? I don't think Jaden Crowder's physically ready to play yet. I think between the years and as a football player, he very well might be a guy that can play relatively early for USC. We'll see. It's going to be a very competitive room over the next couple of years because they're bringing a lot of talent there. We'll pause there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.